It's your boy Norbs, and this is the 10-8 podcast. And this is just something I wanted to address today. Wednesday, we're going live at 10 a.m., which is be tomorrow. We'll be doing a live show every week, and we will be dropping an episode usually on Mondays starting next week, interview episode. So look out for more boxing content. But we're about to rev up the engine on these things. We're going to be available everywhere on iTunes. Everything will be up starting next week. Shout out to everybody that's been supporting, and shout out to everybody that hasn't been supporting, or even people that are coming out and making comments. So, anyways, I wasn't going to address this, but yesterday I went on my Instagram. I seen a comment. My good friend David Flat Sparks comes out and says, "Puerto Rican hating on a Puerto Rican fighter is crazy, bro." Flat, I gotta address you on that one. All right, and this is what I'm gonna say. The comment that he was referring to was somebody had posted. Oh, they posted this right here. This is what was posted, which was a tweet that Edgar Berlanga had made recently, where he says, what he stated: "I would stand toe to toe with Arthur Beterbiev." First, he spelled Arthur wrong. Arthur Beterbiev, and knock him out. No IQ, no head movement. So I responded to that by saying he's smoking rocks. He ain't staying with Canelo. He's going to stand with Beterbiev. Now, we all just seen Beterbiev fight Dimitri Bivol, and we've seen the comments that Dimitri Bivol has stated about Beterbiev. And we actually have seen what Beterbiev can do, what he's been able to it's an incredible thing to watch Beterbiev, do what he does, right? And to me, I sit there and I was like, yo, this he's a different type of animal, bro. Going for, like, he literally made Bivol look like he didn't want he didn't want to get caught with those shots. And even Bivol came out and was stating, that this guy hits extremely hard, he does this, he does that. Like, he's a different type of animal. And, it was very telling if you watch that fight. It was absolutely insane to see how powerful Beterbiev was. So he made that comment based upon what I responded to in regards to this tweet. Now, in regards to this tweet, the reason I was kind of like, bro, like, what's going on in Edgar's mind? And again, like, he's been saying a lot of different things, and calling himself the cash cow, calling himself the face of Puerto Rico. We all know that's not the case. Amanda Serrano is the face of Puerto Rican boxing right now. Okay. So I was just like, bro, he's got to be trolling or he's just chasing big checks at this point. And when I made the comment, I was like, bro, like, and I'm a Canelo fan. You didn't stand to fight Canelo. Okay, if this is not my response coming from a hateful perspective. It's coming from a realistic perspective. Beterbiev is not somebody you're going to stand in front of. Canelo's not standing in front of him. Nobody's going to stand in front of this Terminator-like figure with a beard. This guy looked like he's been in Israeli jail, special forces in jail for like 10, 20 years. Guy looks like he's at one point his life was starved and had to survive by killing people. Beterbiev is the real life Terminator. And to make a statement like that after a performance that you had where you literally attempted to survive against a much smaller man in Canelo Alvarez is absolutely crazy. And it almost comes off to me as clout chasing at that point. And I think to me, it's absolutely crazy. So when my man Flat wrote that, I was like, bro, it's not hate. Hate is me saying some wild stuff that isn't true. I'm stating the facts. You didn't stand in front of Canelo Alvarez. You just did not stand in front of Canelo Alvarez. But you expect me to believe you're going to stand in front of a much stronger, physically stronger Beterbiev, who has only one decision, 12 rounds, against one of arguably the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, in Dimitri Bivol, and pushed him back the entire fight. And even Bivol was like, this guy's like the walking Terminator. So you expect me to actually believe that? And I feel like since that fight versus Canelo Alvarez. I feel like he's made a lot of crazy comments, and I've bit my tongue. I haven't said anything about the situation because I don't want to come off as a hater. I don't want to respond to everything he's saying. But it is news. And the fact that I'm Puerto Rican, people expect me to lie and act like, yo, wow, I got to support him. I'm not going to support something that's false. It's not true. You're not going to stand in front of Beterbiev. In fact, what we really want to see is you versus Caleb Plant. That's the fight that we all want to see. There's no other fight, maybe a Jaime Munguia. But I find it hard to believe, hard to picture nobody else would want to see this fight. We want to see Caleb Plant versus you. You guys had that little back and forth when Canelo fought Munguia. You've talked nasty about him. You said that's a fight I'd like to see. And not to mention, I got a whole lot of respect for Caleb Plant. And I think Caleb is one of those guys. Like, I would pay to watch Caleb Plant all the time. And I think Caleb Plant said something that was really interesting. And I think it was in his Breakfast Club interview. Go check that out. Shout out to my guy, Charlamagne. And in the interview, he says, yeah, I got knocked out, but I was trying to win the fight, which he was. Caleb Plant was trying to win that fight and just got stopped. His 2 losses where he got stopped, or he got 1 stoppage, which is Canelo, and he lost to Benavidez. The 2 best fighters at 168 pounds. It's not even close. Some people have Benavidez as number 1. Okay. And Caleb Plant's only 2 losses were to them. In fact, the night where Canelo fought, he had the best performance of the night where he fought McCumbee and showed his IQ. He showed how he can turn a dangerous fight and turn off that guy's powers. And he literally did that. He smothered him and he fought him. And, they still been doing the back and forth. And I love Caleb Plant so much. I believe Caleb Plant would want to do the fight in Puerto Rico, which Berlanga has been pushing. Now, let me explain to you guys about Puerto Rico, okay? In order for Puerto Rico to embrace you, most of the time you have to be born and bred from Puerto Rico. These are the facts. Let me break it down to you. Danny Garcia is a Puerto Rican fighter. And this is no knock at Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia wasn't embraced by the Puerto Rican culture in Puerto Rico like that. And even though Berlanga is saying all the things, he's a Puerto Rico this, like he's using it as a marketing tool. For Puerto Rico to go back and back you as a Puerto Rican, and again, when you're born in New York, we're looked at completely different than a New Yorican and someone that's born on the island. We're called gringos. That's what they call us. They look at us more as New Yorkers. You know what I'm saying? That's what they look at us as. They don't accept us the way they do. And especially in the sport of boxing, Puerto Rico doesn't really accept a lot of the New Yorkers. In fact, Camacho had problems when he fought Rosario. Rosario was who the island wanted to win. New York is who backed Camacho. Camacho eventually earned that respect from the island and still to this day wasn't necessarily as accepted. Okay. And this is a Hall of Famer. This is somebody that's had fights with Rosario, Boom Boom Mancini, Julio Cesar Chavez. He's had iconic fights, and he is an iconic figure. So when you say you're the face of Puerto Rico, you're stepping over guys like, Matias is somebody who they really love, who's born and bred in Puerto Rico. Amanda Serrano, who's probably right now the biggest name. Xander Zayas. I think you're a little more popular than Xander Zayas, but you're not more popular than Serrano. Okay. But having said that, if you want to have that Puerto Rico love, take Caleb Plant. I think more people will respect you to fight Caleb Plant, who you have real smoke with, who's a legit threat, okay, in Puerto Rico. And I believe Caleb would do it. Caleb is one of those guys, okay, that if you tell him he can't do something, he's going to do it. That guy has the heart of a lion. His boxing skill is crazy, and he's going to sell the fight. Why not take that fight, okay? And I don't want to see Gabriel Rosado. I don't want to see him and him. I want to see Caleb Plant. You got to smoke with Caleb. Take that fight. The mailman, what's up, brother? He says, my uncle calls my son Americanito because he was born in Philly. Absolutely. And the Puerto Rico in whole does not accept Puerto Ricans from New York that easily. But guys, Danny Garcia is a Puerto Rican fighter. He's looked at as a Philly kid. He's looked at as an American. He's looked at as a gringo. And Danny Garcia has had a better career than Edgar Berlanga. Granted, Edgar Berlanga is younger, but he had bigger wins up to this point, knocking out Amir Khan, fighting the biggest names at 147 pounds. This is what Danny did. Yes, you fought Canelo Alvarez, but in all honesty, you guys celebrated the fact that this man didn't get KO'd. He didn't even attempt to win the fight. That is not something that Puerto Rico is going to embrace. Okay? And I'm not saying that Edgar can't get the love from Puerto Rico. He may feel like he has enough love already for Puerto Rico. I don't know any Puerto Ricans that are sitting there and really backing this individual. But if you want to get that attention, if you want to be the future face of Puerto Rico, if you want to take that away from Amanda Serrano, if you want to be the next prospect up, not named Xander Zayas, then you should go and take Caleb Plant in Puerto Rico. I don't think Caleb Plant will say no. Caleb Plant, I think, will jump on that opportunity to fight you in Puerto Rico. I have no doubt in my mind that Caleb Plant not only takes the fight in Puerto Rico, okay? I think he will be favored to beat you in Puerto Rico. Now, Flat, you're my man. That's hate. I'm coming from an honest perspective. Now, I don't judge. I'm not going to take a line on people because I know them, if I have a personal relationship on them. It is what it is. I don't know Caleb Plant. I don't know Edgar Berlanga. I don't know him. I know people in his camp. I grew up with a lot of them. But I'm not going to lie to the people. If you were to go and beat Caleb Plant in Puerto Rico, if Edgar Berlanga were to take Caleb Plant in Puerto Rico and defeat him, he would gain the utmost respect out of anyone. Why? Yes, we love the Munguia fight. That would be another good one if he took Munguia, okay? But the fact that you've had smoke with this man, you have talked a lot of stuff, that's where it's at. We love Caleb Plant. We love Munguia. Either one of those I'll be happy with. But Caleb Plant specifically is the one to me that will sell the fight going to Puerto Rico. He's going to tell you how he feels about you. He's going to give you trouble. He's you know what I mean? He's a slick boxer, has great IQ. All of the things that you stated that you have, this man, he has. The smarts, the ring savvy. This guy is a problem. And you've had the most to say about him, calling him a bum, all types of stuff. Puerto Rico will, not only Puerto Rico, but boxing in general will respect you 1,000 times more if you take this fight. A lot of people aren't saying this for whatever reason. You had a celebration for surviving 12 rounds. That is not what's going to win you over to the fans. And again, being Puerto Rican from New York, from Brooklyn, just like yourself, just like he is, this is what would get him that love and respect that he wants. If Edgar Berlanga were to be able to defeat Caleb Plant in Puerto Rico, whether by knockout, whether by unanimous decision, or by split decision, it would be the biggest accomplishment of his career. Not surviving against Canelo, but defeating Caleb Plant in Puerto Rico is what would be the most impressive thing on your resume. And I think people would love it. I think Puerto Rico, I think Felix Trinidad himself would love it. Miguel Cotto, anybody who's in Puerto Rico will respect it. Amanda Serrano. Listen, just because you're Puerto Rican doesn't mean we have to support you, okay? I don't expect every Puerto Rican to support anything I do, okay? But if you was to go out and beat him in Puerto Rico, okay, that is what's going to build your popularity. Mailman says, Berlanga looking to build off his new popularity. Mailman, I got you. I feel you on that. But nobody, regardless of the fact that he was on a pay-per-view, you're not the cash cow. People tuned in to see Canelo. Let's be real. Okay? You don't have a victory on your resume. Like people said, but I hear people like, but Mayweather had fought Canelo, but Canelo went on to defeat guys like Cotto. He went on to defeat guys like, and he tried to fight. He tried to win that fight, just didn't. A lot of people, including myself, feel like you just wanted to survive. You celebrated survive. You even said, I didn't get knocked out, but this man did. Caleb Plant left his heart on his shield and lost. I guarantee you more people in boxing respect Caleb than Berlanga. And that's probably including in Puerto Rico. The fans trying to do the same with Bivol, but he ain't having that. Bivol was definitely trying to fight. He was fighting. He would happen to be fighting the real-life Terminator. That guy's not human. Okay? Now, Canelo's one of the greatest fighters of all time. But surviving Canelo and trying to defeat him is two different things. Canelo versus Berlanga and Canelo versus Caleb Plant with two different things. Caleb was trying to win that fight. Caleb won some rounds in that fight. Canelo was just who he is. Okay? Berlanga was not. Berlanga got called out by everybody. Even Mace came out and said, hey, you said you were going to do X, Y, and Z. None of that transpired. So why are we to believe? Why in the world are we to believe that that you're going to stand in front of Beterbiev, who's naturally at 175, doesn't go backwards, hits hard with every shot. These are Bivol's words. Every shot that he hits you with is lined up with power. Canelo might hit harder, but every time he hits you, you feel the power. You expect us to believe that? So what you want us to do is you want us to go and say, hey, let's watch this fight. Let's get you a check for you to try to survive again, because there's no way you're going to try to win that fight. If you didn't stand in front of Canelo in that fight, there's no way that David Benavidez is going to stand in front of Bivol. In front of Beterbiev. It's the facts. If you want the people's respect, take Caleb Plant in Puerto Rico. I believe Caleb will do it. I believe he will be in Puerto Rico ready to fight you. I don't want to see Gabe Rosado. I don't want to see him. Caleb Plant or Munguia, but preferably Caleb effing Plant, because that guy's a dog. You guys have real smoke. And I think that would be the fight Puerto Rico would want to see. Puerto Rico loves the rivalries. They love that type of stuff. This is how you gain not only your respect from the island, but from the people that are paying for pay. I would pay for that pay-per-view. Berlanga, I'd pay because it's going to be a fight. Caleb Plant is going to fight you. He's going to fight you. And chances are he's going to be the favorite. So if you're able to defeat him in Puerto Rico, that's how you gain the love and admiration of that island. Now, is that hate? It's not hate. Flat, my man, that's not hate. He won't survive Beterbiev. Too much pressure. Man, I'm actually with you. He's a big kid. He's a very big kid. But Beterbiev fought at heavyweight and came down and fight at cruiserweight, bro. Like, this guy, I wouldn't fight him. If I'm a Canelo fan, Canelo needs to stay away from him. I would not fight that man. Okay? But all I'm saying is this. If you want to be the face of that island, you have to beat Caleb Plant. You got to fight him. If you're the cash cow, your next fight's in Puerto Rico, fight the fight that we want to see Caleb Plant. I don't want to see Gabe. Munguia, we could do somewhere else. We could do in Vegas. But Caleb Plant is the fight we all want to see. And again, this is not an Edgar Berlanga slander block. I want to see this kid be successful. Okay? But at the same time, you have to earn that respect. We're not going to give it to you because you stood 12 rounds and survived by not getting knocked out by Canelo. That's not what it's about. It ain't. Listen, when Camacho fought Rosario, took a beating. He won the fight. He fought. That's putting on his shield. A lot of people critiqued him when he fought Chavez. And just real shit. It's coming from a Camacho fan. People felt like Camacho tried to survive that fight. Lost a lot of respect from people. But he had already built his legacy, and people knew why he was doing what he was doing. Edgar Berlanga, if you want the admiration from the people, which you clamor so much, stop talking about it and just do it. Go out and beat Caleb Plant in Puerto Rico. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. And these tweets about Beterbiev, nobody believes that. Maybe you're just trying to make headlines. You want to stay in the circles, but eventually people are going to call you out on your stuff. And this is being real. Again, this your boy Norbs, man. Am I wrong? Am I right? I don't know. Leave the comments downstairs, down on the page. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Shout out to my guy Flat. I seen that tweet, and this is not the tweet, the whatever. And I was just like, come on, bro. It's not what it's about. You know what it's about. Ain't no hate, bro. Just calling it like it is, man. Caleb Plant versus Edgar Berlanga in Puerto Rico is what we want to see. Nothing less, nothing more. That's all I'm going to say. Mailman says he better off fighting McCumbee instead of Rosado. I wouldn't fight McCumbee. McCumbie's dangerous, bro. I'm not going to lie. He's a dog. Like, I was like, yo, bro, I'll stay away from McCumbee. But if he wants that check, if he wants that respect, go out and beat Caleb Plant. He would gain a lot of respect, and I think it would sell out. Caleb Plant versus Berlanga in Puerto Rico sell out. I believe so. But again, fighting Canelo is a gift and a curse. You want those big fights? They lined up. There's a lot of guys waiting to take your head off. Whether it's Charlo, whether it's Plant, it's bound to happen. You rather. Would I rather see Caleb and Charlo or Caleb and Berlanga? Damn. That's tough because of the slap. I think Charlo poses a bigger problem for Caleb. Charlo definitely poses a better problem. I think he's the better fighter. But in terms of the talking and what's transpired over the last few months in fighting Canelo and doing all the interviews, I feel like Berlanga's value is up more than Charlo. Charlo he's kind of going through a lot of personal things. I think getting his belt stripped. I feel like even though Berlanga lost to Canelo the way he did, I feel like his stock is a little higher, but Charlo's the better fighter, if that makes any sense. So to me, I think financially, I think Plant versus Berlanga makes more sense for both parties as opposed to, but I think Caleb and Charlo will definitely be, because they'll sell that slap and everything. But the fact that Charlo's been out of the limelight, we don't know what's going on with his court cases and all that stuff. I feel like it's a more beneficial fight in regards to public appeal as well as financial gain for both parties. And now if Charlo comes back and gets a win and he's back where he was, that is something. But a lot of people are questioning Charlo's desire to fight. And I think, the inactivity, listen, hate or love Berlanga, he is definitely in front of every camera with the big chains, hanging with Fat Joe. His notoriety right now is a lot more frequent or more active than Charlo. Charlo's kind of been hidden, and we've heard all different types of things about his mental health and stuff like that. I think Puerto Rico would prefer Caleb Plant, especially if it's going to be in Puerto Rico. Give him a rival. Give him somebody that's going to go to Puerto Rico and not fold. He's going to bring – and again, you're talking about Charlo hasn't fought the top at 168. Caleb Plant has, okay? Caleb Plant has fought both he's fought both Canelo and Beterbiev. So I think Puerto Rico will be more excited to see that. Charlo is kind of a question mark at this point. And I mean, so I just think that's the fight that we all want to see. I don't want to see him versus Gabe Rosado. And again, no disrespect to Gabe. I think he's a hell of a commentator. I like watching him, but it won't be as big a victory, especially if you're trying to gain the respect of the boxing community, particularly Puerto Rico. We want to see great fights. We want to see great champions. And in order to be a great champion, you have to beat great fighters. You have to beat former champions. You have to beat those guys. So to me, I think that's the one that makes the most sense. On that note, I'm going to let y'all rock out. Appreciate y'all. Tomorrow, we're going to go live 10 a.m. I need the fans to call in. Let's talk about what's going on in boxing. And again, I'm going to be launching some – you're going to see – it's going to be fire. It's going to be super fire. I'm going to do a whole interview series on boxing. That's how we're going to get it going. It's your boy Norbs, and we are out.